Right, so this was a build-around submission here. Someone asked me, could we try and put together a Bant Hero of the Precinct One deck? So we've got just a lot of good cards, multicolored cards in these colors. We're going to go ahead and just the number of multicolored playable cards in this format isn't that high. I feel like I hit all of the good ones here. Our one non-multicolored card here is Elspeth Conquers Death, so it's really good with Dream Trawler, among other things. Let's go ahead and dive on into a constructed event with this one here and see how it goes. Yeah, Nemesis, so if you've been away for a bit, I'm on F2K as I'm affiliated with them as an esports organization, and one of my deals with them, part of my contract, is that I agree to try and run 2 minutes of Twitch advertisements per hour that I stream. So what I approximately do, since I play each deck for 90 minutes, when I'm switching over between decks, I take a 3-minute break that I run ads during. And I need about 90 seconds to two minutes or so anyways, just to like update Stream Decker and post on Twitter that I'm changing decks and all that, so it works out pretty well. Does Epic have non-stop ads like other... I don't believe there's any adverts in the mobile client. I have to double check. The Steam version definitely doesn't have any ads in it, and it's completely free. Did I update on my phone yet? Now you make me wonder. I don't think so. It's a good question. Secret subject. To be fair, Twitch now does picture-in-picture advertisements, so non-subs can still see me, albeit smallly. That's new. It's been that way for a little bit now. I've been doing that since I joined F2K, so it's been several months. Unsubbed mobile gets ads at the beginning of the stream, but none during. That's not true. Mobile definitely gets mid-roll ads. And in fact, when I run a mid-roll ad, the pre-roll ads get disabled for the following 40 minutes, so new people that come in don't get hit with a pre-roll. Yeah, looking at the mobile version of Epic on my phone right now, it doesn't look like they inserted any advertisements in it, so it's good. Good stuff. It's a good question to have when people ask. So this hand was a little bit speculative with no blue source. I had a couple of castable spells though, so I think it's fine. Yep. If their last card's a counter spell, we might be sad. Hopefully we draw an untapped lands here. It's unfortunate. Yeah, newer apps like that take a while to pop up in the search, Jason, even if you're searching exactly what they're called. Yeah, that was actually one of the good things that Twitch did. So previously you couldn't disable pre-roll ads at all on your Twitch channel, you just didn't have the option to. So now if you run mid-roll ads, your pre-rolls get disabled. My body is ready to get flame swept. Maybe I'm supposed to attack first here in the event of flame sweep. They double bottomed. That bodes well for our hero. he says before he dies to a lethal expansion explosion. Aw, man. Untapped land. Untapped land. Untapped land. If we get an untapped land here and get to Conqueror's Death this, we could be in an okay spot. Well, I mean, all things considered, could have been worse, huh? You get a do-over here? Untapped land? Untapped land? Probably dead at this point. I think we just fumbled for too long. Unless all of these cards are bad. X spells that draw cards generally draw more copies of themselves, so like, good chance they have another expansion explosion after playing the first one there. All the daily deals in the arena client are for one day. No, probably not, Esper. I don't think we have enough evasive creatures to really leverage an effect like that. Next turn, we get to play Hero into Guildmage here. Guardmage, whatever this card's called. Huh? Do I just let this happen and then make this resolve? I think that's the plan. Easy block here if they attack. Our main deck Veto is a really good draw here. This turn I get to bring back Hero. Maybe we're not dead. I get to bring back Hero. I get to play Guardmage. I get to hold up Veto. Ha! Thanks, Goldilocks. They have their scrying here, but like I have them under a reasonable amount of pressure. They've already burned 2 copies of Storm's Wrath, which is great for us. They're on the 2-turn clock. Although I guess they're gonna get to crank that up. So a little bit slower than 2 turns, I suppose. Omen of the Sea, Omen of the Sea. Do 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 do. I think I just play this out, like, preemptively. Just, like, makes Wilderness Reclamation a worse draw for them. I'm gonna plus this up so it doesn't die to Storm's Wrath. Although, I guess if they Storm's Wrath, I'm probably countering it, huh? Maybe I should just draw a card there. Yeah, I think especially with Tamiyo in my hand, if they Storm's Wrath, I'm gonna Veto them. Are they about to Expansion Explosion me? I'm just gonna Veto the crap out of it. We're gonna Tamiyo pick up Veto and the game's gonna end. Well, that's incredibly unfortunate. I do at least get to do this though. So that's nice. Hey, thanks for the 22 months, Ninja. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. So pretty much just saving Veto for Storm's Wrath. If I vetoed this, they could Storm's Wrath and Reclamation and things get out of hand from there. So I think I just let that happen. Yeah, we played Mono Red in Historic this morning, and we played Tibalt because it was foil. Right, they're down to 2. I was worried our deck was bad. It felt like we might lose to Team Arek game 1. And everybody knows that good decks don't lose to Team Arek. Every time you make fun of Team Arek, I die a little on the inside. This Worlds Weekend wasn't good for you then, huh? Just lost 2 games to Team Arek with bottom blue devotion. Take your deck and throw it away. Throw it away. Alright, so I don't think Deputy's actually very good here. Knight of Autumn's better. Elspeth Conqueror's Death seems reasonable. I really don't want Hydroid Krasis of my own. Trawler's probably a little bit too slow. I definitely want all my counter spells. Uro's probably slow. Is it crazy to cut all the Uros? I feel like it's not. Yeah, it's probably crazy to cut all the Uros. We're playing against Temur Reclamation currently. And just shave around the edges. It's a 17 threat, so I'm a little bit worried that that's too threat light. Conqueror's Death is like kind of a threat though, right? Tamiyo field. No, I think Tamiyo is pretty reasonable. Tamiyo rebuying Conqueror's Death and Veto seems potentially very good. She's also threat density in a way. It could even be right to just have Questerson in my deck, just because it has haste and hits them hard. That's a lot of words to say the deck is bad. Frost Otter. A lot of fancy words to say the deck is bad. I think that's accurate. I think Team Arek is popular because it's fun to play and it's a feel smart deck. And I think Croakies is an incredible Magic player who like can beat players who are worse than him with a deck that's mediocre. It's like when I traveled around to play a bunch of Kiki Chord. Like Kiki Chord was never actually good. I just liked playing it. And I was marginally better than a lot of the people I played against, so I could win matches of Magic with it. How did Team Arek do at Worlds? At a very poor win rate. 3 players completely fell on their face with it, and Autumn kind of pulled up the win rate overall, but it still wasn't good. It didn't do well in Worlds. It went 7-11 overall, and a lot of those wins were Autumn pulling it up. I don't even know if, like, knowing the ins and outs of a deck is important in Modern so much as just, like, your opponent not knowing what's going on. You get a lot of game wins with things like Kiki Core just because your opponents just fumble and bumble a lot. I mean, everyone at Worlds is very good at Magic, though, so it's kind of an equalizing factor if you think about it. When everyone's good, it's kind of like nobody is. I didn't play the Scryland because I didn't have a Scryland. These are Temple Gardens, which is really confusing. I don't blame you for misseeing that because it's real awkward. Thanks for the half a year, MTG Wiki. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Klesmond, thanks for the half a year as well. Morning, folks. Play something I can conquer's death. I mean, that's technically something I can conquer's death, but it doesn't quantify. It's not going to be in play. Why doesn't Worlds run before rotation? I think the timing on Worlds was actually fine this time around. I think the timing was very reasonable. I mean, I don't even think there's anything to complain about from Team Arek. I think, like, as far as play patterns go, Team Arek is a pretty reasonable deck to play against. In my opinion, it's pretty underpowered. Playing control with just blue and red answers isn't super exciting or powerful in this format, it doesn't feel like. Good morning, wife. You say skill-wise, the MPL is very close, or some are better than others. I think there's more range in something of the skill levels of something like the MPL than other things, especially with some of the special invites that went out. Like, I don't think, like, Savitz is, he's a good gamer, and, like, he's good at games, but, like, there's a reason why he fell a little bit short compared to the other people in the MPL, right? Like, I definitely think there was a skill gap between him and the other people in that event. In that league. Sorry, it wasn't an event, it was a league. It'll be something that'll be, you can kind of track and get metrics on over the next leg. To bluff a counterspell, because my health total doesn't really matter. Something that'll be kind of interesting, I think, to get some metrics on over the course of the next couple of years is you'll be able to track on average how well the discretionary invites into the Rivals League do versus the invites that are obtained in other ways. No, isn't taught. They frequently list people on their surveys that they don't like. It just means we're getting bigger. My theory could be that they finally just listed us on the survey because they were tired of filtering my name out of the other category. Could be a very real answer. I always tell people when those things come up to list me in the other category. Thanks for the 13 months, Weather Lady. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, Alpha Investments is on the survey. It's clearly not an endorsement. And he's been on there for a while. Are you about to get double Storm's Wrath? I mean, like, with this sitting in play, that's really not that big of a deal, right? Yep, that survey link is current. If you're interviewing a math teacher, how much value would you put on their ability to spell out a random formula? Next to 0. If you're interviewing a math teacher, you should ask them to prepare a lesson and teach you a lesson. Ideally, you should give them a small range of topics that you're very familiar with, and then have them pick one of those 3 topics to teach in their interview. Every reasonable math teacher interview I've gone on, they've asked me to prepare a topic to teach. It's actually a fun way to kind of know. It kind of lets you gauge how much the people that are interviewing understand what they're supposed to be interviewing you about. It works. It's very similar for programming gigs too. If a company hiring you for programming jobs wants you to like have libraries memorized or know things off the cuff as opposed to like looking them up and deriving information from like documentation, like those companies are probably gonna suck to work for. They're testing the wrong thing. Your IT block stack overflow because people spend too much time on there. Good lord. The only thing they actually asked me for my current IT job is, are you good at reading documentation? Hey, that sounds like someone who gets it. RTFM, chat. That's an acronym I don't miss from the... I think... On average, open source communities tend to be pretty reasonable in my experience. The one thing Linux communities and more technical people do a lot of the time that's really frustrating, I found that I was doing things, is you'd ask how to accomplish a task, and people who thought they knew better than you would spend a bunch of time needling you about why you want to do the thing you do instead of trying to help you do it. And it's just like, no, listen, if I wasn't sure I wanted to do this, I'd be asking, should I do this? It's like, I know I want to do this. If you can't help me, pound sand. just ignore my message. Vampire of the Dire Moon, you say? They see me trawling, do-do-do. Man, I really kind of want to put Bronzehide Lion on Trawler at least once. It's like the great unkillable thing, huh? Thank you? My opponent helped us achieve our dream, chat. Liliana's edict to you. Watch us get edicted here and just be super sad. OP ghosting and wanted to deliver on our dreams. They're a giver. Every day is Christmas, chat. If we get edicted, are we timing out Jeff? Yes. If they edict us, I'll time myself out for a little while. Hydroid Krasis Dream Trawler. Listen, chat, if this is wrong, then I have no desire to be right, okay? All I'm saying is giant flying monsters that draw me cards and gain me life. What more could you want out of a game of Magic the Gathering? I feel like the Vorthos here is not the Trawler riding the lion. I feel like the Vorthos here is the Trawler. Whew! Glad we played the Hydra. They're about to have two of them, aren't they? They're about to have two of them? Oh, no!
The storied past holds our future. subject is easily agitated. Let me aid your research.
Wow, I can't believe you all would violate my right to free speech like that. That was terrible. You're awful human beings. Why would you want me to get timed out? Why you have to be so mean? Chat's a bunch of bullies. Give him another for complaining upon his return. Wah, wah. The tutor failed because they didn't have any undergrowth.
Do not harm my scrolls.
They're harming our scrolls, chat. All right, we've reassembled the dream team here. Can I call these the dream team? That feels appropriate, chat. Is it appropriate to refer to these as the dream team?
Stand by and watch. I've got time.
You're gonna do the old switcheroo here. Elite Trawler. Do the Kansas City shuffle here. Anybody name that movie? I'm sure there's people in this chat that can name that movie.
I think you will find my name helpful.
There we go, look at that. Knew there'd be a few of them. Is that one considered a cult classic? I don't know how that works. Was one we watched a lot of in undergrad. All right, Uro, it's time to escape, shall we? Wanna ideally dealt or escape cards that don't come back to Conqueror's Death first. Although there's also some merit to keeping things for Tamiyo as well. That vicious rumors though. I mean, to be fair, we're 1-0 in this constructed event, so our opponents probably want a match too. Opponents like the Rick Astley of this Magic game. They're never gonna give up. Never gonna let us down. To my knowledge, the events do their best to pair you based on record. So while they don't always do it perfectly, they do try.
Violence is impolite.
Violence is impolite. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, they really did, Gendy. Alright, what is going on here? Opponent's playing like black aggro. Tolsimir sounds fine. I don't have any Devout Decrees in my sideboard to exile things here. Veto doesn't seem particularly good. Just gonna bring in Tolsimir, cut the vetoes. Easy mulligan. Keep. Bottom the second trawler. Don't need 2/6 drops against something with a slightly aggressive slant. I should lead on the white source there, so if I draw an untapped non-white source, I can play this without shocking. Otto the Bobcat, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Never punished. Good chance opponent is a little bit less experienced. More likely newer players end up in constructed events than in the Mythic Ladder. Although, we also played an opponent in the Mythic Ladder that didn't really know what their cards did today, so... Wow! Who hates drawing cards? That's so rude. I guess this is one-sided. It only hurts me when I draw cards. You get like Ritual Ascended here. Yeah, Gray Merchant is probably in our future. Yeah, at least Dream Trawler, like, still nets us life, nets us less life, but still puts us on ahead. I do this, and then just like, from here on out, we just hold up Bronzehide Lion activations unless they commit something else to the board. So this pays 2 to get indestructible. Turtle. Goat napped. Thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Crunch, crunch. Athro, thanks for the happy year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm just gonna kill that, hit them, and hope the top of their deck's a brick here. If this is a blank, they die to the cats next turn. Looks like a blank to me. Bile Blight's gonna be brutal. How sad do you think Watch Wolf is? Registered to vote Democrat today to support Bernie. Hey, it's awesome to hear, Weather Lady. Thanks for getting involved and making your voice heard. Every time you stay home from voting, that means someone else is making decisions that impact you for you. Take your life into your own hands. Get involved, even if it's just do a little bit of Google searching and back a candidate. I'd also encourage people, if you're going to vote in your primary, there's probably other local and state issues on there, as well as potentially other Democratic primary decisions. Take 20, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour if you really care, and Google search what your primary ballot's going to have on it for your state. Definitely worth the time to do that. Especially local stuff. Local stuff can often have a lot more direct impacts on you as an individual than national stuff. Oh, the national stuff is important too. You're 31 years old and this is the first time I'm voting. That's awesome to hear, Flying V. I'm hoping that you are not alone in that sentiment, that you are someone who's had the opportunity to vote before and this is the first time. That's how we win this election, is getting a lot of people who have never voted before to show up to the polls. Yeah, I live in what's considered a safe blue state too, which makes the primary even more important. Politics is boring and upsetting for a lot of people, but so is taking out the trash, and you get a house full of garbage if you don't do either. It's a good saying. I like that. What if you live in a state that historically doesn't count votes properly? You know, Marty, sometimes when I need to think happy thoughts, I like to think about the alternate reality where Al Gore wins the 2000 election and we start addressing climate change 2 decades ago, and it makes me feel warm on the inside. There's some people living out there in a parallel universe that got to experience that. Nice, Cryo. That's awesome to hear from everyone in chat. Y'all are great. And welcome to the United States. Immigration's great. Well, this is certainly one way to beat Mono Red.
I know my responsibility. I'll protect you.
Honestly, son, whatever it takes. He was Toe Smasher. That's why I said that. He was talking about climate change in 2000 because we've known climate is a thing we've needed to address for longer than 2000. Like there's docs from oil companies that go back like into the 70s from my understanding even. They've known for a long time, it just wasn't profitable to address it. All right, well, we're solidly into garbage time. Thankfully, our deck closes pretty quickly, so we're not going to spend a lot of time here.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
All right, how do we want to approach this matchup? Knights of Autumn and Tolsimir are probably great. Tamiyo is slow. I don't mind boarding out Teferi this matchup a lot of the time. I know it was like okay in that game, but on average it's not great. What if I cut Conqueror's Death? Would I rather have Conqueror's Death or Teferi here? What do we think? Would you rather have Teferi? Yeah, I guess the tempo's okay. Conqueror's Death can exile their big scaries, but not until after they hit us, and I have both of these. This Teferi slows down their sword a lot, which is nice. I could Coward Split this. That's probably not very good, though. Trawler's like really good to have at the top end here. Questing Beast could be good for pressuring them out of the game. They do have a relatively hard time blocking it. This hand's pretty reasonable. I think we're bottoming Hydroid Krasis here. Do I bottom Krasis or do I bottom Veto? Maybe I bottom Veto, because I have Uro to ramp into Krasis potentially. I'm gonna bottom Veto and see how this goes. Like, the way I'm set up, I'm gonna be tapping out for the first few turns anyways. Hey, toss a prime to your Twitcher, oh Valley of Bezos. Thanks for the 7 months, Bill Nye. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We get to play a kitty cat on 2 here. I didn't include, well, now we're doing that. I didn't include Devour or Aether Gust in my sideboard, which might be wrong. I might have been a little bit too much of a slave to my hero theme. It's very, very possible that I should include some of those red hate cards here. Yeah, climate change has to be a global thing to address it, Fuzzy Thantos. But we don't have a moral leg to stand on if we go to these other countries and say this is a global thing that we have to address if we're not addressing it here at home first. We need to get our own house in order before we can go out into the world. Personally, when my house is on fire, I like to look and make sure other people's houses are also on fire before I shrug and do nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Probably dead here. I don't think it matters, Android. I think we're dead and we can just go to the next game. I think you could argue about the small percentage points, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. Sure. We're hoping to find some lands here. Not blocking here because I don't want to get rimmed. And play a 4-3 out here. Am I playing a 4-3? I could just gain 4. Yeah, let's make it a 4-3 so we can trade with Seamkin. Not blocking, might as well attack. Hey, we don't kink shame here, Anarok. Wherever you're into, that's your business. Do they not have a land? That's real good. No blocks here. Yeah, we saved that for the OnlyFans. Exactly. So I'll fetch an island, play Elite Guardmage here. Hoping to hit an untapped land in our next 2 draws so we can drop Tolsimir. Perfect. Maybe we can stabilize here. They're going to kind of unlock their mana choke here because the Runaway Steamkin's going to get to pop off. Hopefully they pass the turn with Steamkin as a 2/2. So that way Tolsimir can eat it. Just eat it, eat it. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Am I supposed to eat the Steamkin or trade with the Annex? I think I'm supposed to eat the Steamkin because they're so choked on mana. They can still cleave me next turn is the issue. But I'm also at 19, so I can kind of survive a cleave. And I have another Knight of Autumn in my hand to clear it out. I'm gonna block here to make them have the cleave. Any quick tips? Yeah, don't spend your skill books right away. And pick the Wizard, the Archer, or the Paladin as your starter. The Orc's kind of bad. Favorite card from Theros? Elspeth Conquers Death. Card's great. that Raid Shadow Legends game that's been plastered everywhere. Advertising. The game's actually pretty okay if you like grindy RPG games. I think F2K has convinced them to pay me some money to play their game on stream at some point, so that would be great. Alright, so I think I just attack them for 10 here and put them to 6, and then we can try to kill them next turn. I want to leave back 4 blockers to be a little conservative here. They haven't actually given me money yet, Admiral. In fact, I've given them money, but my F2K rep said they think they can. They can hook it up for next week. Bloodbath, thanks for the 19 months. Welcome back. All right, so they just have another cleave here, right? If they have cleave plus a pump, we actually die. Please just be dead. Please just be dead. Sweet. All right. Didn't get combo killed. Fist bump. How's the girl aggro deck we played today was very bad. Was much, much worse than the adventure deck we had played previously. If you're interested in a girl deck, the girl adventures deck that we played on stream felt very good, and I think it's a reasonable starting place. So if you're interested in that as an archetype, I'd recommend starting there. So I think there's almost assuredly a good Gruul deck in this format. Klothys is a very reasonable card. Yeah, we look like blue-white control is time to start. Vomit. Yeah, someone else mentioned that earlier, Nemesis. Those search results are based on people searching for it and then clicking on it, so new games are always down lower. Mabo SSG, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, this is like old school bad blue-green flash, which means we're like 0% to win, just about to get dumpstered. This is the old school Flash where even though it's awful, it still feels awful to play against. I can see this game with my handful of cards that don't do anything. Even if we win, we're emotionally depressed, right? It's like, oh man. I think I'm supposed to keep this. I'm trying to prepare for epic card game, but I can't wrap my head around the most powerful card not being the credit card. You just have to play the game because it's fun. One of the things Epic does that's kind of neat is the priority system in the game isn't quite as rigid as Magic, so there's a little bit less priority passes, and they have an asynchronous mode for their application. So like you and a friend can like start a game, play a little bit, you can like pause and walk away from it and come back. We put something on the board, turn 2, the game is over. They could have Brazen Borrower, right? Although this card's exceptionally good in this matchup just because my other stuff doesn't have to resolve for it to keep adding pressure, which is nice. I don't think I attack here because I don't really want to trade Hero for a 2-drop. I think my Hero is more valuable than their Cutthroat here. Definitely jam Teferi here. Every turn you wait to jam Teferi is a turn. A turn later. Am I a liar? Am I gonna attack with this hero? Maybe I do attack with this hero. Attack before Tef? No, I don't think so. If they want to trade with this, I'm okay with that. Oh yeah, easy, yeah. Definitely want to offer the trade here because if they attack, I get to attach it to hero. Cat. This is another cat that comes back here. Deal. You know, almost assuredly save in. I would not be surprised if their archetype is the biggest play draw discrepancy like Magic's ever had. And that's saying something, because like the play draw discrepancy in Magic is like already pretty real. They have a wolf here. Please play Anissa. Nice, Punchworthy. I haven't actually done any team creation or working on anything to like target the clan boss. I'm just like using my arena team at the moment, plus a Cold Heart. What's play draw discrepancy? How much higher your win rate is when you are on the play versus when you are on the draw? I actually have a 50 Skull Crusher. I should figure out a good build for that at some point. Do I just veto this? I feel like I'm supposed to veto this. Just like get tokens. Yeah, I agree. I don't know that I can keep up with the Snipe Pack Ambusher even with double hero going. It's pretty unwinnable. I guess like maybe I could draw a Deputy of Detention, but it seems pretty unlikely that we draw that and it resolves. 3 and 1, take a crack at one more here. Hey, thanks for the host, Missouri. Hope you had a good stream today. Perfect. Get to play that on 2, play Teferi on 3. 2 drop is exactly what we were looking for here. Opponent getting that sweet, sweet auto pass value here with their fetch land right away. Cast Watch Cat. Meow. I think I'm just gonna draw proactively here because they could kill this or exile it, or they could play a Narset, which wouldn't be great. Smells like blue-white control.
You'll thank me later. There goes nothing.
Real question if I play around Shatter here. I feel like with Dream Trawler in hand, I don't play around Shatter this turn.
Don't worry.
Because that way if they Shatter, they're less likely to have an answer to my Trawler later. I think if you're gonna spend money on Raid Alkali, the Battle Pass is worthwhile. I gave the money for the Gold Pass. Gives you a lot of things. So they did plus here. I'm gonna send this here and these at them. And I think I just hang tight. I could, do I just play one of these to like add 2 power to the board? That's actually probably the line, right? Go. Because, like, even if they have the sweeper at this point, I keep my Lion around. Is Narset strictly better than Teferi? Because when Narset screws you, there's no glowing red. No. Alright, so there goes my Teferi. That's really not a big deal. We've got them on a 2-turn clock here. It's maybe a shock to Glandia, but my Groll Satyr tri-build deck is not very good. I am shocked, I tell you. Absolutely shocked. We saving the passage for something? It just doesn't really matter. They're dead. Even if they protect Trawler that gets tapped and they die. I'd tap that Dream Trawler, chat. I think this is a matchup where Deputy boards out. On average, it's not going to be particularly good, I don't think. It just gets caught up. It was like fine there, but it gets caught up in sweepers, it gets bounced, etc. Not going to be very good a lot of the time. Elite Guardmage is not stellar in the face of Narset. It's also just kind of clunky. Questing Beast comes in here to give them the business. Is it possible that Uro's a trim in this matchup? Maybe I get rid of at least one of them. What is my last trim? You think I want to cut Hero? No way. We're the beatdown here. I need to actually kill them. I don't know that grinding them out's a particularly good plan. I think I'm gonna trim another Uro. Could go down EDC, you shut your mouth. This is exactly the matchup there's a 4th EDC in the board for. These matchups where both players have Conqueror's Death, whoever draws more frequently ends up ahead. Looks like a keeper. Perfect. If they play a Teferi on 3 here and bounce my hero, I'm like really sad. Oh, I'm dumb. So I should have, oh, they don't have a land, sure. I should have played Breeding Pool on 2 there. So that way I could hold up Dispute plus this. Are they about to dispute my Uro? It's a little unfortunate. I was hoping to do that and hold up a Dispute of our own. Getting timed out does mess with the auto-clicker extension. You gotta refresh your page. Correct, yeah, the fact that we have a token means that they do end up ripping a Teferi. Like, with double Veto Mystic Dispute, there's a good chance we just, like, full tempo them out of this game at this point, though. We're not gonna give them an inch. We should be able to kill them before anything happens.
I know my responsibility. This might be a bad idea.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. There's an auto clicker for collecting the shilling bonuses that you can install. I think EDC is a Pioneer playable card, not in the current format. In a slower, kinder Pioneer format where mono red is playable, Elspeth Conquers Death is probably great. In reality, where we live now, it is not playable.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Oh, you know what? I should have shocked this in untapped, so that way I could pay for their Mystic Dispute. If they would have gone 5th land Shatter Dispute, they could have disputed my dispute on the Shatter. Oh, I have Teferi. Never mind, they're playing Hearthstone. Lol responses. Lol, lol, lol responses. Oh, that card's so dumb. All right, that was really fast. Let's play one more. Just like thinking through all the complex lines that should normally happen in a game of Magic the Gathering. And then you're like, oh wait, Teferi's in play. Oh wait, this game actually isn't that complicated because they printed this stupid card. Don't worry, chat. In just 32 weeks, 2 days, 10 hours, 27 minutes, and 23 seconds, 3-mana Teferi will no longer be standard legal. Don't worry, it's coming, chat. It's coming. Yeah, the fact that Teferi, 3-mana Teferi, has remained legal in every format it's really kind of troubling to me. No, I have early access to the Steam version, Drakios. I just don't think it's good enough PCP. I think it's just too low power level. Maybe I could put it back up. I think with the current state of Pioneer, most of the decks on my website are a little bit too low power level. I think Mythgard's fine. It's got good gameplay and it's great software. The card pool is just a little bit too shallow. Like when I play a game, I have like many people, I have what you could describe as a very addictive personality. So like when I play a game, I don't tend to play it just a little bit. I tend to play it a lot and go ham. And like the size of the current card pool in Mythgard meant that going ham meant I kind of like played through everything that it felt like it had. Like I kind of burned down on it with the size of the card pool. My plan is to revisit it as a game, probably on stream 2 a little bit when they release their second set. So the core gameplay mechanics are good, and their software is like inspirationally good, especially being used to Magic. Yeah, I agree. Well, I really hope they have what it takes to be successful through their first 2 set releases this year. I think if they get a couple of sets under their belt and have a little bit more card depth. Yeah, I agree the Spirits matchup is probably good for Blue-Red Eldrazi. I don't know. In general, I'm not really interested in like maintaining Pioneer decks at this point, because honestly, if they don't fundamentally change what Pioneer is as a format, I'm gonna eventually be mostly cutting it out of my stream for the same reasons I cut Modern out of my stream. I just don't enjoy the average gameplay experience that exists in Pioneer right now. Hey, thanks for the 3 months, Graham. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Niv Mizzet Doomforetold. You're a special type of monster opponent. Yeah, Pioneer shouldn't feel like Baby Modern. I agree. Like, I honestly feel like if they're gonna leave Pioneer how it is, if I want to play a non-standard, non-historic format, I'd rather go back to playing Modern. With the play patterns in Pioneer right now, it feels like the crappy parts of Modern without any of the fun parts. Like, I don't understand what the appeal of the format is at this point. Yeah, I agree, Admiral. And that's just someone who, like, really loved where Pioneer started. I actually haven't played Runeterra because Riot is a god-awful company, and there's just so many other good games out there that I'd rather play, that, like, if I had the option to play potentially good game made by terrible company or potentially good game made by reasonable company, I'm gonna choose good game made by reasonable company every time. Yeah, I agree. The lack of consistency is something we've talked about a lot on stream too, Admiral, that I found very frustrating. Like, they were so aggressive and in a good way with bans early on, and then it just fell off, and it felt like they completely changed. It felt like they completely changed their ban list philosophy, like, midway. So they found Dance and they found Deafening Clarion. What if I deputy the Niv Mizzet here and then plan to veto the Clarion? It doesn't take a very hard Google search to figure out why Riot's a terrible company. Yeah, I agree, Admiral. I agree. I think they either need to ban a bunch of stuff in Pioneer or unban a bunch of stuff in Pioneer, which are feelings that I've had about Modern for forever. So again, it just feels like Modern. I don't think there's a compelling reason to play it over Modern. They could do both. Yeah, I agree. They could also do both. At a minimum, I would like one or the other to happen. And if neither happens, I don't intend to, Alright, we're dead. This card sucks. Deputy, while they have a lot of things we'd like to take off the table, this is a pretty big liability here. It's frequently going to die before it does anything useful. Oko's power level is like the uncanny valley of magic cards. That's actually a really good way to phrase it, huh? It's actually a good way to phrase it. All right, that's going to be our last match of Magic here. We've got one, maybe two more games. We managed to slog out this one. Then we're going to roll on into Epic card game for a couple hours. Which, if you want to potentially queue up and play with me, It's available on Android and iOS now, and will be available on Steam for everyone later tonight. You should Google on the Uncanny Valley. It has to do with humanoid-looking creatures, humanoid-looking robotics. Olarox, thanks for the 26 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for providing great magic content and interesting political discourse. I stay sane at work thanks to your stream. Well, thanks for the 2 months of support, PhD Shine. I appreciate you keeping me around. We're supposed to mulligan that. Colors are just too awkward. This is fine. I'll bottom a dispute here. We have lands, Bronzehide, Dream Trawler. Probably want a Fabled Passage on 1, so that way if we draw a 3-drop and no untapped land, we can go 2-drop, 3-drop. Need to fetch a green or a white source with this. Probably green, since I already have double. Yeah, but remember, Tenorka, Donald Trump is anti-corruption. He's the anti-corruption candidate, right? I am, Rillum. They must have finally gotten tired of having people list me in the other section. Something definitely got drained under Trump's presidency. It was just the brain cells out of the people who still support him. Am I supposed to... Am I supposed to play this and draw a card? I feel like I'm supposed to wait, because I don't want to play this and then have them kill my only threat here. And like, I kind of want to draw the turn I play this, but I want to be able to bounce fires here. That's super unfortunate. Feels dead, man. Feels like we're just getting solidly bigger fished here. Oh, you know what? I can do this and bounce their egg, and then they lose their Doom Foretold, right?
This isn't a fight you can win. Let's try this.
They get to draw another card, but this goes away, and then I don't have to discard. And this is going to draw them a card anyway, so might as well just have it take care of itself. The Legion's end animation is really good. Last patch added a couple more. Oh, that's a big boy. You know what's bigger than Dream Trawler, chat? Niv Visit's bigger than Dream Trawler. Yeah, feels dead, man. They get to just attack my Teferi and then play Doom Foretold there. Yeah, that felt kind of uniquely tough for us. I don't know if there's anything we could do to this archetype to make that better. Overall, this was a little bit clunky. Have you seen the Enigmatic Niv Reborn deck? Yeah, we actually started with that 5-color build on stream, and the Niv Mizzet in it is really unnecessary. So we ended up playing that 3 or 4 times now, I think, and it's up on my website as a 4-color build. It's like 4 colors, no red. Enigmatic with Oath of Kaya and the Treacherous draw 3 are both really, really good. As far as this is concerned, this felt like another like kind of reasonable Elspeth Conquers Death deck. I was impressed with Bronzehide Lion again. I feel like there's probably a good home for this card in this format. The green-white enchantments build leverage this card well. Hero of the Precinct One just continues to underperform for me. I'm just not super excited with what it does or the power level that it puts out. Between Brazen Borrowers and Teferi Time Ravelers and Miscellaneous Sweepers, I feel like the restriction that this imposes on us during deck building isn't worth proportional to the power level of the payoff that we get. So while this run was more successful in the Esper hero build that we played, overall I wasn't super impressed with the hero part of this deck. And the just Bant control deck, blue-white splash Tamiyo, felt like it was doing some similar things and being a Conquer's Death deck while being more powerful overall. Alright, so for the remainder of the stream, we are going to do some epic digital card game. Take just a moment and get flipped over to that. Get my Steam loaded up. A box of shoes. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Lion in the Bant deck we played earlier. No, that deck's more controlling. So I don't think it really fits there. All right, I think my overlay is in spots that are reasonable here. Hey, thanks, Bert. I appreciate it. How's the music volume level? Is that overbearing? It might be a touch loud. It's a touch louder than in Magic. It's fine? Cool. How is the campaign? I have no idea. You don't even hear the music. It's good music. There we go. I was like, that resolution's not right. Thank you. I'm tweeting and doing things at the same time. Something, FTC compliance.